over what he did at the finish line in Rio. Feyisa Lilesa crossed his hands over his head as he won silver in the men's marathon on Sunday. Now, he said it was a protest against his government's crackdown on one of Ethiopia's largest ethnic groups. David McKenzie has a story.
The Olympic Charter makes it clear politics and the games don't mix, but that hasn't stopped athletes with a cause. Most famously in '68, the iconic moment of Tommy Smith and John Carlos raising a Black Power salute, stripped of their medals by the Olympic Committee. Now in Rio, another act of defiance that will last long after the closing ceremony. Ethiopian Feyisa Lilesa raising his arms in a defiant moment at the finish line of the men's marathon. Ethiopians everywhere would get it. It's a protest symbol of the Oromo people. Lilesa, who is Oromo, said he wanted to draw attention to the plight of his people back home in Ethiopia. Oromo are the largest ethnic group in the country, but for decades they've said they've been excluded from power politics. Since November last year, massive protests have erupted against government development plans in Oromo areas. Human Rights Watch says as many as 400 protesters have been killed, thousands injured, and tens of thousands arrested in the government crackdown. The government denies those reports, blaming the protests on rioters. Lilesa says he's afraid he will be arrested or even killed if he returns home from Rio. But the Ethiopian government told CNN that Lilesa is an Ethiopian hero and that he has nothing to fear if he returns home. Lilesa says that his defiant and perhaps iconic gesture was worth it because he wanted to put the plight of the Oromo people out on the biggest stage of all. David McKenzie, CNN, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Well, other Ethiopian runners have used sporting events as a means to escape abuse and torture back home, and some have been granted asylum here in the United States. Dijane Regasa is one of them, and he's joining us now live from Washington, where there are a number of Ethiopian athletes in similar situations. Welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
I want to hear about your story in just a bit, but I first want to know what went through your mind, Dijane, when you saw Feyisa Lilesa put his hands over his head, in an X in protest against the Ethiopian's government's treatment of the Oromo people. What did you think about that?
I'm thinking Feyisa is he doing like a right thing and a right time. Always just they killing every day. It's like a lot of people is died, a lot of people is arrested. Even sometimes we don't see where the people going, what time they died. But if we are always crying and we are always showing to protest, don't kill Oromo students or don't kill Oromo farmers, don't kill Oromo's mothers, don't kill Oromo's kids. We are talking, but the world is never see, just everybody maybe watching or not watching that one. But Feyisa is showing the right way when the people like in the worldly people watching the Olympic team. So everybody, you can watch now and they can see what's going on Ethiopia. So I'm so proud of you. And I put my hand to don't kill Oromo students. Maybe my hand is like all the people or all the world cannot see.
Right.
But Feyisa is the right way. On the Olympic, all the world is watching the Olympic team. So he show for all the world is. I'm so happy about that.
And let me jump in there because we should make clear too that you are a part of the Oromo ethnic group, and I just want to hear your story and your journey to the United States. How were you treated back home, and what led you to seek asylum in the United States?
So I was a marathon runner like in Feyisa, he's my friend, the one of, and so when I was in back home, so the Ethiopian government is the dictator government is, they need to like in all the like in the top athlete runner or top like in the student or whatever, like in you are, the people can watch you and you have to support the government. So when I saw that one, I cannot support the government because always what he's doing is not right. The people is died every day. The people cannot talking by his like for his rights. They don't ask. I don't have even for food. If I'm asking, you are not support the government. They kill you, and then you are just they trash you. So when I was there, I'm not supporting the government. They say you need to support. So my situation is I can't, because I saw, and the one my heart is broke about the Ethiopian government is I have like my friend, he's close, we grown together. His name is Dirba Demi. He's a marathon runner. He ran like 2:10 and the top of the world runner. And we'll go and enjoying together and outside. And somebody we don't know, just they killed my friends. So they throw it on the way. Because of we are not supporting the government.
Let me jump in there if you don't mind. You know, you are an accomplished marathon runner. And so from what I understand, your story is that you came to Washington a few years ago, I think in 2013, to run a marathon. And at that moment, you decided to seek exile. Is that correct?
No, I came into 2010 to running San Diego Marathon. So that day is the Ethiopian selection. And when I go back to Ethiopia, and they asking why you go to USA, because that's the selection day. And they ask me this question. I say I have a marathon. No, you didn't go for a race. You doing like in political things. I don't have it that. So and then they control me. I don't go like if I'm running good time, if I'm not going outside to running for the race. So and then I decide to get off from them to USA.
I got it. Yeah. You know, and just quickly, you know, when the Ethiopian government says that Fayisa Lilesa is a hero and he shouldn't be worried at all about returning to his country, do you believe the government? Do you think he should return to Ethiopia?
No. I'm sure if Faisal go back to Ethiopia, they kill him immediately in the airport or they put him he's in the jail. I'm 100% I'm sure about that.
All right. Well, Dijane Ragasa, we really appreciate you taking the time and telling us your story. All the best to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I wanted to say thank you for Tax International and Asylum Human Seekers. They're helping for me to get my asylum seeker. So I appreciate about that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad that you're getting help to have a seamless transition in the United States. Thank you again. Well, while the International Olympic Committee bans political activity by athletes, global issues are bound to surface during the Games. Here's just a few examples that we saw in Rio. An Egyptian athlete refused to shake the hand of an Israeli after losing in a judo match. A fencer became the first American to wear a hijab in Olympic competition and openly criticized Donald Trump. And U.S. and Russian swimmers Lily King and Yulia Efimova clashed over doping allegations. But in a heartwarming moment, a political moment, two North and South Korean gymnasts struck up a friendship. They took selfies together, showing the Olympic spirit can transcend even the most bitter of borders. Coming up, controversial swimmer Ryan Lochte has lost